Welcome back to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit. The 2026 FIFA World Cup was supposed to be North America's grand showcase, a united stage shared by the United States, Canada, and Mexico. But instead of harmony, political friction, safety concerns, and public controversies have flipped the narrative. What began as a celebration of unity has become a test of credibility and preparation. Canada and Mexico are earning unexpected praise for stability, while the U.S. faces mounting scrutiny over leadership and readiness. With kickoff approaching, the stakes have never been higher. Here are the developments. A historic dream unravels. North America loses control. When the United States, Canada, and Mexico won the joint hosting rights in 2018, the world celebrated a bold new era for global football. The 2026 World Cup was set to be the largest ever: 48 teams, 104 matches, and more than 6.5 million fans. Mexico City secured the opening match, New York, New Jersey the final, and confidence was high. The U.S., with its massive stadiums and 1994 hosting legacy, was expected to lead, while Canada and Mexico were viewed as solid partners. For years, everything seemed on track. Host cities were finalized, the Trianda match ball debuted in 2025, and qualification excitement built worldwide. But momentum shifted as U.S. political division, security incidents, and social unrest began dominating headlines. The delayed 2024 Copa America final in Miami became a warning sign, fueling doubts about America's readiness. By late 2025, the partnership's balance had clearly shifted. Canada and Mexico appeared steady and prepared, while the U.S. emerged as the unpredictable outlier overshadowing the tournament. But that early imbalance was only the start, because politics soon pushed the entire hosting narrative into even rougher territory. Political firestorm erupts. Trump's remarks shake FIFA's authority. The narrative shifted sharply in September 2025 when President Donald Trump declared during a press conference that the U.S. might move a match if a host city wasn't safe. The remark triggered immediate global backlash, implying the U.S. government could override FIFA's hosting authority, something impossible under tournament rules. FIFA's Victor Montagliani quickly responded, stressing that football, not politics, governed the event. Trump escalated tensions by publicly criticizing several U.S. host cities, calling them unsafe or poorly run. His comments dominated headlines and alarmed sponsors, travel agencies, and international media. Meanwhile, his frequent appearances with FIFA President Gianni Infantino fueled speculation about influence behind the scenes. FIFA officials pushed back, reiterating that host cities were locked in and that no issues warranted relocation. While nothing changed operationally, America's reputation took a hit. Once viewed as the tournament's anchor, the U.S. suddenly appeared volatile, boosting confidence in Canada and Mexico instead. But political instability wasn't the only threat building. Concerns about physical safety were about to escalate even further. Before we dive into that, do us a huge favor and smash that like and subscribe button. It helps us reach more auto enthusiasts just like you. Security fears intensify. Drone threats spark global alarm. As the 2026 World Cup neared, security became the defining issue across North America. The 2024 Copa America breach in Miami exposed vulnerabilities, while rising unrest in major U.S. cities intensified global concern. Mexico faced questions over cartel activity in Jalisco, and Canada confronted scrutiny after violence at Vancouver's Lapu-Lapu Day Festival. Governments responded aggressively. The U.S. allocated over $1 billion in FEMA-backed security funding. Canada poured more than $100 million into Toronto upgrades. Mexico reinforced security across its host cities, emphasizing its strong track record with high-risk matches. A major turning point came at the 2025 Counter-UAS Summit in Washington State, where leaders simulated a coordinated drone attack on Lumen Field. The exercise revealed gaps, but also showcased rapid progress in detection and mitigation technology. Trilateral cooperation deepened with the first high-level U.S.-Canada-Mexico security meeting. Yet analysts noted that safety requires trust, not just tech, and global perception still favored Canada and Mexico. But even if safety improved, another challenge became unavoidable, one that fans faced long before entering any stadium: getting a visa. Visa chaos deepens, FIFA Pass tries to save access. As global demand for World Cup tickets surged, the US faced mounting criticism over its complicated visa process. Fans across the world complained about long wait times, strict financial documentation, and extensive background checks, far more demanding than systems used in Russia or Qatar. One journalist captured the frustration perfectly. In Russia, you needed a ticket and a passport. In the US, you need time, money, and a miracle. To address this, the Trump administration introduced the FIFA Pass in late 2025, prioritizing interviews for official ticket holders and deploying over 400 consular officers. Secretary of State Marco Rubio emphasized that screening standards remained the same, but processing would be faster. Gianni Infantino praised the move, calling it a commitment to global fans. Still, concerns lingered. Canada and Mexico's simpler entry procedures helped them win over international travelers, with travel agencies increasingly recommending their venues first. And as fans shifted their plans north and south of the US, the reputational gap only widened. Reputation Shockwave, Canada and Mexico surpass a stumbling America. By late 2025, the hosting dynamic had flipped. Instead of the US leading with confidence, Canada and Mexico emerged as the tournament's most reliable anchors. Their stadium upgrades were completed ahead of schedule, their messaging stayed calm and coordinated, and their promotional campaigns earned widespread global praise. Canada's efficient preparation in Toronto and Vancouver reassured analysts, while Mexico demonstrated strong organization across Mexico City, Monterrey, and Guadalajara, quieting earlier cartel concerns with a consistent record of hosting safe, high-profile matches. The United States, meanwhile, struggled with optics. Political interference, public criticism of host cities, visa complications, and concerns about civil unrest created an image of instability. Even with FIFA repeatedly affirming its trust in every host venue, perception had already shifted. International media began calling Canada and Mexico the steady hands guiding the tournament, and investors responded by directing marketing budgets toward their venues. Travel platforms also reported rising demand for match packages in Vancouver, Toronto, and Mexico City. A tournament meant to symbolize unity had become a test of trust, and with pressure mounting, attention turned to whether the US could regain its footing before kickoff. All roads now lead to the final question: what does this mean for the tournament's outcome and North America's global image? Final verdict: a defining crossroads for North America's World Cup. As June 11, 2026 approaches, North America stands at a pivotal moment. Canada and Mexico have built global confidence through steady leadership and consistent preparation. The United States, despite world-class stadiums and financial power, must rebuild trust after months of political turbulence and public scrutiny. The foundation for a historic World Cup remains strong, supported by trilateral security improvements, the FIFA Pass, and massive investments across all host nations. But perception matters, and the world is watching to see whether the US can match the stability displayed by its neighbors. Will the 2026 World Cup become a continental triumph, or a reshaping of reputations on the global stage? We'll find out soon enough. We want to hear from you. Can the US restore global confidence before kickoff? Which host nation feels most prepared for 2026? Will visa accessibility reshape fan turnout in unexpected ways? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. Before you go, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next wave of updates here on Piston Pundit. Thanks for watching and see you next time. You can now check out any of the videos on the screen. There's plenty more to explore.